what Jamie was talking about ego being in the way of, or really driving a lot of our dreams, or being the why behind it in like an ego-based way, had me thinking about birthwork. Last March, I think it was like right around quarantine, maybe a little bit before February. Must have been February. My months are backwards. February. I really got into shamanism and practicing journeying just practicing journeying, leave it at that. And I just kept getting this clear message that like birthwork is not what my purpose is, like not what it is. And that has been my dream since I was, a child, really. So I was so like confused and just kind of distraught, like, oh my gosh, this is what I thought I wanted to do, but now I'm being told like, no, this isn't it. And it really, for me, was an ego check. And I think a lot of doulas and birth workers could really benefit from doing this for themselves and checking their own ego on why they want to do birth work. I think a lot of them are valid, and a lot of them sound probably a lot like mine. That you want to help people, that maybe you had a bad experience, or either during birth, pregnancy, postpartum, you had a hard time, and you don't want other people to have to struggle through the same thing alone, or struggle at all. You want to help them and make it easy for them. You also feel like that's the big one. You want to help people. Like, you don't go into birth work if you don't want to help people. But why are you looking to help people? And does your presence in the birth room really help people? Is another question. Because if we look at the anatomy and science, it doesn't. Strangers in the room, extra people, don't support the birth process. They hinder it. They make it more challenging, more difficult, especially if they're a stranger. And you're probably like, and granted, if somebody's going into the hospital to give birth and you're their doula, you've met them a handful of times, which is a lot compared to what most birth workers offer. A handful would be a lot of connection. If you, like, the doula is going to be the person you know the most. They're going to be the least stranger in a hospital room, which is great, to have that comfort and like that familiar face that you've really associated with birth and the whole birth process. I understand that and the desire for that. But does it really serve you or the birthing person? Like, it doesn't in the natural process of birth. And it really, I think many of us as birth workers really come in with this like ego. We need an ego check. We're not, just our presence isn't going to change anyone's birth experience necessarily. That's not a guarantee. And why do birthing people feel like they can't give birth? That they need somebody to walk them through it. All about education. But your body knows how to do this. So why is there this major disconnect that expecting people feel in their ability to learn the process themselves, and to just give birth by themselves? I feel like this is sounding negative, but it's like we need to look at a reason why we're in the birth work. Does our presence actually help people? What are pregnant people actually struggling with? And it's feeling that they can't do this, that it's going to be so challenging they can't do it on their own, that they don't know their own needs enough to have them met, that they're looking for someone to tell them how to birth and how to prepare rather than going inward, rather than connecting with themselves. We're also hiring strangers to be at our births. That's crazy. Now that I know birth and I know the whole system is so much more, so much deeper, it's really best to do with as minimal people, not strangers. We need sisters. We need sisters to come together and support us. That is why it's so important to have a community of people in your life, a community of people who can be there for you, sisters who can hold that space for you during birth, someone who knows you, who you trust, and like who you really feel comfortable with. I've been at births of people I've known my whole life, and it was a completely different experience than being at a birth where I just had met the couple a handful of times. I don't think it's impossible to build that relationship. I just don't think that intimacy is as strong or deep as it needs to be for someone to be in this like really sacred space and moment in your life. And that's why I do things differently, and that's why I don't attend. I really will not attend birth unless it's somebody I know, somebody who I feel comfortable with attending, not only for myself, but also for them. They deserve to have someone who knows them, who truly knows them. I'm totally game for coaching and preparing people. That's easy. That's my jam. I'm a childbirth educator. I'm a coach, a healer. You can work through those underlying like wounds and traumas that you're holding that make you feel like you can't do this on your own. And yeah, also just an encouragement to birth workers to really look at your why, and to look at if the way you're functioning in your work is actually serving people. Is it actually serving people? And if you feel like it is, that's awesome. Absolutely, keep doing it. But I feel like the way that the standard process I was trained to do, which is really basic, 3 prenatals, birth, 1 postpartum. And that's what I see a lot of people offering. And that's not enough time. That is not enough time to build that connection. It's not enough time to share all of the information, to work through all the wounds and really connect with each other intimately. Not enough time. And yeah, it feels good to offer something different for people. To offer something that feels authentic and feels like it helps, feels like it's actually serving. It's not a cover-up, it's not a way to make you think you're less than to make more money. For myself, because in pregnancy we're being thrown all of these like things, like you can't do it without this. You can't do it without a doula. And you can. You don't even need to buy a bunch of stuff. You don't even need a crib. A changing table. Spoiler alert. And fuck the diaper genie. Really focus on what's important. And that's in feeling good and confident about yourself. About feeling capable to keep another life alive while you will be going through the biggest transformation of your life on every single level. Physical, spiritual, emotional, mental. Everything is changing. And yeah, I think that's important for all of us as we move into this new like time in history, this new world. this new energetic landscape, it's so important that I feel like I'm saying important weird. It's so important that we connect with our why, and that it's something that's authentic to us. But also important that it's serving. It's serving in the most genuine way. It's a genuine act of service for the world and the people of the world. Because this is relating also to like my money things. Like I feel icky spending money, and I've been sitting with that, and it's because I don't like where I'm spending the money. I don't like buying groceries when I'm not buying like the things I really love and want to eat. So I spend less but still feel shitty about it, even though it's like, and I don't like supporting big chain stores. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel great to pay for Hulu and the internet, because I really don't. It's important and it's necessary for the internet, but it's like also not at the same time. I could go to a coffee shop when I want to go online or something. But looking at the ways we do things, and if it doesn't feel good, it's probably because it's not in alignment. It's not for our highest purpose. It's probably not for the good of all. So, checking in with yourself, being mindful, like when do things feel icky? And just simply taking a second to ask yourself why. Why does this feel icky? Why do I stay in this relationship? Why does this experience keep happening to me? Why does this thing keep repeating? What's the message? What am I supposed to learn about myself? And how can I take that, change my behaviors, change my actions into something that feel good and something that serves? How can I spend my money in a way that feels good and that serves? How can I run my business in a way that feels good and serves? So yeah, just ramblings. Not sure where I'm going to put this. Maybe make a post. It just feels good to talk to myself.